Hello, and welcome back to Let's Talk About It, where we discuss things of life that bring us life. My name is Andrew Olson, and I am your host. Today we'll be discussing hobbies. And yes, I'm trying my best to be happy and smile, because just before this video, I was not sure what to do with my day and in the dumps. So again, giving to others helps you give to yourself. And speaking of that, please do hit like and subscribe. It helps my channel grow, which helps others grow, which is what this channel is all about. It's about helping everybody, myself and you guys. So please help support. That would be great. Appreciate it. If I get enough subscribers, I can do live videos, and we can do. I can listen to you guys ask questions and answer questions live. My brain I've had so many, winters of depression where I've had nothing but time. And I've done just research sometimes and just educated myself on whatever comes to my mind, which is actually one of the hobbies I wanted to mention. So with that in mind, let's just go ahead and get into the hobbies. It's wintertime. Some of us are working, some of us are not working. I think maybe all of us or a lot of us are feeling the lack of the sun and lack of the heat, and it affects a lot of us. So this is about enriching our lives, especially in the winter, but also year round. So here's some ideas. I'm just going to go through and read this little bit here. How about sewing, crocheting, and knitting? Or what about fishing for food, which we can do in the winter with ice fishing? Hiking, canoeing. We can do hiking in the winter. Archery. You'd be surprised how many places have archery ranges. Outdoor, maybe indoor as well. Gun shooting. Architectural building projects from a hobby store. You can just buy kits and put them together. My grandfather used to build ships, like really intricate, detailed ships that were impressively sized, and just the paint he would do, the paint job he would do. He'd have to use I think sometimes he would have to use a magnifying glass to be able to see close enough to be able to make those tiny paint lines. Electric car racing. They have some hobby towns, like Hobby Town USA, that have indoor tracks. And I believe in the summer they do outdoor tracks too, which can be fun to build those and race those. Building cars or trucks, actual real size cars and trucks in the garage in the winter. You could have just buy a junker and just fix it up for fun, and then it's good use of your time, and you can teach your children, which that's fun, along with practical knowledge that can carry them into success when they get their cars. They can help save money and work on their own cars. Collecting items. If I had the money, I would collect pocket knives. If I had a Void card, and I had the money, I'd probably collect guns. I like rocks. I think rocks are really cool. There's such a variety, and it's always like a discovery every time you go around looking around to try and find something you like. It's such an adventure, I meant to say. Collecting items, treasure hunting with a metal detector. Aviation, like flying airplanes, if you're financially set up for that. Napping rocks and glass. It's kind of like an old school hobby, but yeah, learning how to make arrowheads. Just for fun. You gotta figure out. You gotta buy like obsidian or napping rock and get your leather piece for your leg. You can get like antlers from like a deer, and you can go ahead and strike the rock, or you can even, nap glass. But you can make other shapes, and it doesn't have to be sharp. You could make like little glass hearts with colored glass, depending on how detailed the shape is you're trying to make. You might be able to make other shapes, but when it gets really detailed, it might be kind of difficult. But yeah, I mean, you can use your imagination with that one. Learning how to tie knots, it's just challenging. It's kind of like people like to sew, people like to knit, people like to use Rubik's cubes. There's all kinds of knots you can learn to tie, and it's just a random skill, and you might never know. One day it might come in to play where somebody needs you to tie a knot, and then there you go, you're the knot guy. There's bushcraft. That's basically learning about the forest that has to offer. I didn't type this correctly. That's why I'm messing up my words here. Bushcraft is, from what I understand, it's like just building stuff in the woods. So you might get yourself like a bushcraft knife. It's just a single tang, which means the metal goes all the way through to the bottom of the handle. It just makes them stronger. Maybe a hatchet or something like that, and you can, I don't know, build a shelter. It's just, when you're a kid, what do you like to do? You like to get out the chairs and get books and sheets and build a fort in your living room. I mean, that's just something fun you can do, and get your snacks, and you can do that same thing as an adult. You can go off into the woods and go build yourself a little shelter somewhere, and maybe learn how to I can't think of the word right now, but it's where you go off into the woods and you like you might have a book that tells you which plants are edible, and a lot of times you can at least find like green plants that are edible, and you can make like a salad, or maybe you find a mulberry tree. You can maybe make a dressing with the mulberry tree berries. There you go. See, but that's why this is fun, because life is an adventure. So if I was to like put a subtitle, Hobbies, Life is an Adventure. So let me pause for a minute. I want to share a little story. So I was at Jewel, and there was this elder guy, he was pushing carts, and I just stopped and talked to him. I asked him a question. I said, you're older than I am, and you probably know more than I do, so let me ask you a question. What's one thing about life that you know that I should know? And he said, every day is an adventure. And that's what he told me, and that's what I remembered about that conversation. And I've walked away with that knowledge, and I still think about it to this day. And that does kind of open up the door for the day to be fun and exciting. So remember, every day is an adventure. So how about living in a farmhouse property and helping raise animals? I mean, this could be something you could do. I mean, you could even volunteer at a farm. It's a lot of work. They might want to hire you. You might want to get hired to get some money for it. But I mean, could you imagine raising a family of cows and then delivering the calves when they're born, and like what? I mean, that's a life experience you can't pay money for. You could work with horses in a horse stall. They're funny. Horses, I've seen some videos of their personalities, and they're definitely not holding back on personalities when it comes to horses, but all animals are amazing. So yeah, finding your local homestead, or finding like a local, farm, and just getting involved somehow. I mentioned education, research, learning. It's very fulfilling when you don't know what to do. It can be kind of like you're lost in life and you don't know how to do anything, and you need to ask for help all the time. But when you learn about stuff, you become equipped and independent and capable, and it kind of helps build your identity and your self-worth, and you become equipped with things that you can change I guess you could use the word power. Knowledge is power. So let's just go with that. You know, you can create a sense of power of like, I know how to fix this couch. I know how to fix this crock pot. I know how to paint this wall. And it's very fulfilling to learn about different things. So using modern technology as a tool and minimally for entertainment is essential. Okay, I see what I'm saying. So basically, you know, like your phone and your TV and your Nintendo system, these are all hobbies. I guess I'm kind of commenting on this. Suggest what I'm hinting at is like when we do it too much, when it's like my hobby is my phone or my hobby is my TV, or without my PlayStation, I'd be, or you know what I mean? I'd be lost. It's like we don't want to have technology. It's just not healthy. Too much technology is not healthy, and that's kind of where I'm coming at with that. So let me see if I can read this right. Yeah, so I was just basically saying let the technology not be a main source of entertainment because we can become dependent. You could use the word addicted. Let's go further with that. Yes, that means we can get, and a lot of us are addicted to technology, and we have mental illness as a result. Addiction to technology can get us mentally ill. Too much use of it can cause mental illness. That's true. So, I'm just going to kind of, it's 11 minutes. We have a few more here. Gosh, I like when I talk about stuff, when I have no plans. Like I have to sit here at the computer and read. It's like I like just the freestyle. That's why I want to do live videos, so I can interact with you guys. I'm excited. I mean, let me share some of the things that I've learned. Just some topics. I'll just randomly say some stuff. So I learned about Christianity down to the place where I'm like studying, not studying, but I'm learning about manuscripts, which if you don't know what a manuscript is, it's the written words that people wrote our modern Bibles from. Because I'm trying to prove, like, is there a correct Bible? Are there more than one types of Bibles that are correct? And I won't know until I study this and really find out for myself. I'm kind of digging, like I'm digging for gold with this whole issue. Mental illness. I've studied mental wellness. I've studied the human body. Learning about cells and learning about hormones and learning about how food directly affects our bodies. I've learned about psychology and social science, which social science is just an umbrella term that has a lot of stuff underneath it. One of those things is psychology. You know, studying society. I've studied society. I find fascinating prison culture or gang culture as well. I find fascinating. So these are all potential topics we can talk about in the future on different streams. I mean, I've a little bit of education on family, and which is again going into social sciences. Like, I got into archery, so I've been learning about archery. I have a recurve bow, and so I've been learning about hunting, white-tailed deer hunting, a little bit of turkey hunting. My main desire is to provide healthy protein, so that's officially deer hunting for me. And I think maybe a close second would probably be fishing, which I'm not very good at. Which if you're gonna fish for food, make sure you're not fishing out of a dirty river. Find a clean source of water. You might get away with it to eat out of a dirty river. People might say it's clean, or some say it's dirty. Eating one fish out of that's not going to kill anybody, I don't think, but when you start sourcing your food for your home and feeding your family with it on a regular basis, you want to try and find a good clean source of water to harvest your fish from. So I haven't gone down that road yet. I know Lake Michigan's not too far from me, which they've got just a lot of money. So that's kind of more difficult for me to harvest fish. But I don't know. I guess I was just kind of finishing talking to the 15-minute mark. But if any of these things piqued your interest, and you want to have these discussions and you want to talk about more stuff, I mean, I've been into pocket knives and guns and all kinds of. I grew up with 3 women, so I could talk about a little bit about women. I have some experience with that. Again, please subscribe. Please like. I want to get on live for you guys, for me too, and have some fun, have some great conversations, and help bring light to everybody. Did I say that right? Life. All right. So I hope all we talked about today brought you life, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.